What's up, folks? It's Fuzz here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. We have another custom tactics video for you guys today. I almost did squad build. Another custom tactics video for you guys today. As you tell by the title and the thumbnail, it's a 4-3-2-1. One of my favorite formations, I think, of all time in FIFA. Haven't used it as much this year. So with team of the season, it was Serie A weekend. Wanted to try something different. Give that a go. Got two player picks in the end, and as you can see on the right hand side of the screen here, we managed to get Brozovic and Dybala from the red picks. Dybala is absolutely insane. I've been using him while doing objectives recently. But this video is going to be the 4-3-2-1. It's going to consist of me talking through the gameplay and the tactics, and then it's also going to feature some gameplay. There'll be timestamp down below so you can skip around to what you prefer. If you do enjoy the video, please leave a thumbs up on it. It'd be greatly appreciated. All the support lets me know you're enjoying the videos, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. And if you're new idea, please hit that subscribe button. The channel's continuing to grow, so thank you very much for that support. And also thank you very much for absolutely killing it on the short that we uploaded last night. I think last time I checked, it had over 16,000 views. Absolutely smashed it. So thank you for that. Without any further ado, we'll just jump in to the team in the video. We'll discuss personnel. This is the team I was running. Put Smalling back in, you know, won the Conference League, had to get the boys back in. Karsdorp got the upgrade. Packed Balotelli from one of the packs as well, so I had him in the squad. Was able to link him in with Raspadori into Verratti as well. So if I go over to custom tactics, and I had it set to my ultra attacking, but just to note, it doesn't matter which one of these you have this set to, it will play the exact same in game. You can use these, so I think of these as option 1, 2, 3 and 4 is the best way to do so. So press after possession loss, 40 width and 68 depth. Not quite hitting the 70 mark, but I did want to play a high depth on this because there is separation between the players. You're going to notice it regardless. Is one of the issues with this formation. Not every formation is perfect. No formation is perfect. One of the issues in this is the spacing between players. Playing a slightly higher depth helps to reduce that spacing, especially between the midfielders and the back line, which I felt helped quite a lot, especially with this isn't a very defensive formation, so cutting that gap down, giving people less room to work in, really did help me defensively. 40 width is kind of my standard for a 4 at the back, I'll be honest. Especially in the defensive, it sort of makes the fullbacks cut in a little bit. It means you can force people out wide, but they're not going to have big spaces for through balls down the middle. On the offensive side of things, we are playing on ball and forward runs. I did start off with this on direct passing, so the gameplay we go through has a little bit of a mix of direct passing and forward runs. That was during the playoffs. As I got into the Champions Finals, I decided to fully stick with forward runs. I thought that was the best, and it really was. Having the left forward and right forward, if you had them on direct passing, I felt like they were just dropping back and like wanting to build up play a little bit too much. Forward runs meant I had all three players being aggressive, with fullbacks pushing up a little bit, and the centre mids getting involved. 50 width here, nothing too crazy. Really, just with having such a narrow system, I wanted to force a little bit of width in the team. Players in the box is on 5, corners, free kicks is 2 and 2. They're rather self-explanatory. Formations wise, how we're lining up, it's what you'd expect. The backline stays the same. Verratti was being used more as a defensive midfielder with the medium attacking, high defensive. Beetle, Niles and Karsdorp were my box to boxes, and you'll see how they're set up in a minute. But I really like this system, having 3 just like proper box to box midfielders. Obviously Verratti a little bit more defensive, as opposed to playing someone like I used to play like Bernardo Silva or Fekir here. Now that the players are so good with such just stats, you can play a proper box-to-box here, and their stats will be good enough to still be able to finish and have that impact, but then he'd be even better as a midfielder for you, which is really, really nice. Balotelli is a striker. I put Raspadori out wide just because he's almost maxed out pace anyway, and Perisic was my left winger. On the instruction side of things, goalkeeper is default, nothing to worry about there. Same for the centre backs, fully default, we don't change anything. My left back, however, was stay back while attacking, while my right back was unbalanced. And this is similar to another formation we covered before. It doesn't matter which side you do these settings for, but on one side you want to have stay back, in my case Emerson, and on the other side you want to have them unbalanced. Basically what it means is, although Emerson still got forward for me, he is more defensively minded, which means we kind of still have, it's like, I'll say you have 2.5 players staying back in the back line. Emerson will sort of sit in that little space available, but he won't make as many aggressive runs, so he's easier to track back and gain position back with. And then Arnold was really easy just to push forward with. You can change these basically to make your most defensive player, or your least efficient at attacking fullback, your defensive player, and that's how it will work. We had Verratti as our core midfielder. Obviously this is 3 centre midfielders, not actually central defensive midfielders, so some of the instructions you get are a little bit different. We opted for stay back and cover centre, nothing else here, no aggressive interception or anything. We just want him to stay back, guard the back line, and we want him to cover the middle of the pitch. We want him to sort of roam in between that space between Saliba and Smalling. Verratti worked really well here. There's just a thing with small players with high defensive stats and high aggression, just love winning the ball back for you. My right centre mid is my more common box-to-box player. Maitland-Niles has medium work rates. You want like medium or high in this case. And you run them fully default. You don't change a thing. You let the AI do everything for you. They'll get forward enough. They'll track back enough. It's one of the first times I completely have left this player on default, and I really find it useful and enjoyable in the system. So just try default, see how you get on with that. The left centre mid is our more attacking player, where they have the get forward and get into the box or cross. As I said, I used to use players like Fekir here, even the Mkhitaryan foot birthday card. Players who have decent defensive stats and decent physicality, but they're not a centre mid. They're more of a cam or centre forward, and they're basically going to become a fourth player in the attack. I'm essentially doing that here, but with a player who can defend and has physicals. Obviously, Karsdorp is a right midfielder, but works really well as a box-to-box. Got the +2 as well. And his shooting's actually not that bad. He scored quite a few goals for me. The left forward is getting behind, as is the right forward. They're just getting behind, nothing too crazy here. I don't like to play around with the settings in this formation, because, for example, if you start putting like stay central and stay forward, it can really ruin the formation. Like, you can test it and you'll understand what I mean when I say it ruins a formation. Everything just gets clogged up. There's no fluidity in the team. So I would find out that just playing getting behind was the best option here for both of these guys. They then track back a little bit because they're left forwards and not left wingers. They don't track back anywhere near as much. So you still essentially always have a top three available to play balls into. Perisic and Raspador, your left forward and your right forward, just sit a little bit deeper than what the striker does. And speaking of the striker, stay central, getting behind, and stay forward on Balotelli for us. He was an interesting card. He scored some great goals. I will keep him as a super sub, but he's probably going to be worked out of the team now that we have Dybala. But that's the custom tactics instructions. I'll get switched over now and we can run through some gameplay for you guys. Okay guys, so in total I had 5 bits of gameplay recorded here. I'm going to show probably 2 to 3 depending on what we can get. This first game I noted down that it was a 4-2 win that shows the crossing options with the system. I forgot to hit record at the start, so the game starts at 1-1. I'll flip through now and find the goals and possibly the second goal I can see that kind of as a defensive error. I don't know if I score from this. I do actually, so there you go. That was the crossing example. This is actually the reason why I nailed this for the crossing examples. Perfect time to start. So obviously it's just from a throw in, nothing crazy. Verratti is our defensive midfielder, as you say, but you can roam with him. I managed to get Silva, who was playing as my attacking midfielder at this point, forward, and Canales has made a run into the box as well. I managed to score. Obviously Canales was playing right centre midfield for me, so it's just a good example of how your centre mids will get involved. And this is very common as your defensive shape here. These 3, I had Fekir as a striker. Just to note that some of the gameplay was recorded before I built my new team for Champs Finals, so it's a little bit all over the place with the players. But Fekir was my striker. Obviously he was initially a little bit higher. The left forward and right forward do sit very close to him, and in your midfield with Verratti being on stay back kind of forms this little triangle, and the back line, as you can see at the bottom, is very flat. This is a standard defensive position. Obviously there's spaces that can be worked against you. You have to be aware of those and shut down the spaces. But another example, this was a real video about the crossing examples. Bernardo was the left centre midfielder in this case. I have no idea what the game was doing there because I didn't want to give that ball back. He manages to mess up with Zanetti and we run it back with Bernardo, and we instantly have, so the front 3 that we're discussing, because they don't drop back anywhere near as much, if you can win the ball back when someone's building up, you'll find opportunities like this all the time to score goals. It was absolutely fantastic for that. And I'm not going to disappoint, we have yet another goal scored from a corner, or sorry, from a cross. So Verratti just managed to win the ball back again. Now we had Fekir here. I moved him to left forward at this point, played Leal down the middle, gets into the box and just taps it in. All that key in was from me winning the ball back. You can see here he passes it with Blanc, bit of a heavy touch. Quaresma then gets the ball in through. We managed to win the ball back here with Koundé. Saliba plays into Verratti. This was kind of a 50-50, but I got lucky and won it against Blanc. And then from there, we were able to counter-attack. And Leal, I pressed L1 actually to make him run into the box a bit there as well. That's what you can do. If you say you're at this point and you're like, okay, I want this guy to make a run into the box, you can press L1, they'll make an active run into the box. And then in most cases the run will be good enough for you to get them on the end of the cross. Here's the goal. We can see that it was kind of a defensive woe from me, I think, really. I stepped up with Koundé, his CR7, and I pulled Koundé out of position. He wins the ball back after the tackle with Verratti, and my defenders just fall together. He managed to get a chip. It's something you'll find. I find it in those 4 back systems where, because you've got 4 centre backs, sorry, 4 centre backs, 4 defenders. If you do pull a centre back out, the position can get weird. Even if you don't pull them out, it's why I prefer running 3 centre backs. Gives you the solidity with being able to attack with wide players. I just find those gaps can happen, and like sometimes a 50-50 where someone's doing the back and forth dribbling, they decide to go one way, you misjudge, or you try to guess which way they're going to go, you lose that 50-50, instantly the gap's there. As in a 3-back, that gap wouldn't have formed. He gets through here, I can't remember if he's offside, he was. So essentially it's being aware of that. It's one of the defensive things you'll have, because you don't have a true defensive midfielder. Obviously we set Verratti up to try and be one. There will be those opportunities where maybe if you do lose the ball, or you have a careless pass, there is a chance that you'll get penetrated for. We did try another cross here, got it across to Fekir, but couldn't get on the end of it. So this game, I noted down, it was a 4-0 win. It was a rage quit, but it really showed the press we had. As you can see, this guy's team was no mean feat. This team was good. We went into it and just absolutely nailed the press against him, scored many goals. This is probably the last gameplay actually. I know it's only the second game, but the crossing elements that we had from the centre midfielders getting forward in the space were quite evident. I think the opening goal, I got really lucky here. Yeah, I do. I get through with Jota and managed to get the chip off. Obviously, he was away from the control at the very start, but I won the ball back then. He was playing, and we just managed to get the goal. But yeah, this will show the press we can get and the scoring opportunities. You can see how quickly we're building up. And just like you get players forward, you got centre midfielder there in the middle of the box. Doesn't quite fall for him, unfortunately. And then this guy was really testing the whole plan out from the back. But that last gameplay, it showed the sort of goals you can concede. It then managed to show some of the crossing opportunities, and this is really just the press that comes with this system. You can see here, this guy's been trying to build out. We keep managing to win the ball back. A little bit of nice dribbling from Verratti. He misses the tackle with Van Dijk somehow, and we're 2-0 up within 5 minutes, and we're really flying. You can see defensive shape here. Although he didn't have players flooding forward, if I can get it back here. Although we don't have players flooding forward, I can basically just run around with Verratti in front of the defenders, because he's small, he's quick, he's a little menace. And then that defends, and this is the build-up stage, so it's not like a fast build-up at all by any means. We get Klaus involved, he finds the left forward, Diogo Jota there, good save from Alisson, but great position in the game. I actually really like this goal. This is something that I've started to try from corners, because they're quite obvious. Like, I cross the ball and I try to head it down to someone, falls to Fekir in the half volley. We're 3-0 up in 8 minutes, we're absolutely fine. That's nothing to do with the formation, that's just a corner. But you'll see here, the final goal will come. We win the ball back once again with the press. Fekir picks the ball up nicely. This is then defensive. Obviously, we've lost the ball while attacking, and as you can see, this is a really good example of what I mean about my left back being a little bit more defensive in this case. So the right back wouldn't make the run in the tradition of losing the ball, because if he was going to start going forward. The left back stays back though in this case, which is Emerson, so I'm able to track runs whilst the right back recovers. Managed to get the block in, and you can sort of see that you have 4 to 5 men to defend with. Like, your left centre mid and right centre mid will be getting forward and involved. They're not always going to be there to bail you out defensively, so it's very much going to be relying on your defensive midfielder and then just being stable with the rest of the players in your team. We do win the ball back with Emerson. Big gap forms for the strikers, and you'll find this quite a lot. We'll have to go back and probably show this. I square it across to Leal just to ensure we get the goal and the win. But with this system, if you win the ball back here, obviously there are some gaps in the team, but we won the ball back, and instantly you've got your left mid and your left centre midfielder, right centre midfielder, both there. Verratti's back helping. They're here to help with the build up, but depending on how people have going forward, this guy looked to be playing a 4 at the back, and he's pulled some bra. But look at the gaps. Even if I wanted to play this down the left, got a gap. Down the middle is the obvious one, huge gap here, and obviously it's a clear pass for Silva. And even the space at the right, Leal is going to make a run. So I can go play this ball first time, and instantly I've split him over. I can chip here, I can go around the keeper and score, I can square it across. I recommend squaring across in these cases. Sometimes this defender will make an absolute hero slide for the ball, but if you press through ball rather than pass, it typically plays in front, and you get a tap in like that, and it's GG's, game over. Hey guys, that's the gameplay side of things over. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this system. If you like this style of video where I'm doing a little bit of talking about the custom tactics and the instructions, then I'm breaking down the gameplay. I've had good feedback so far, so I just want to make sure you guys are still enjoying that. Hopefully your pack luck will be good. Hopefully my pack luck can continue. I'm really gassed about this Dybala. I'm looking forward to using them in the team at the weekend. Let me know in the comments down below what you got from the Foot Champs picks. I'm really interested. I've seen some really crazy picks this week. I feel like the weight on the Serie A picks has definitely been great across the board for people, so let me know about that down in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button if you're around here. Thank you for all the support in general recently, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.